Young Jeff Gordon won a lot of USAC midget races on ESPN. He was the 90 Ventura television champion, the 91 national midget champ, and used that as a springboard to stock cars. Once he moved down south, the question was, who would step up and be the next rising star in USAC midget competition? Enter Kenny Irwin. He won the season opener on the high banks of Winchester. The outdoor season opener at the High Bank Winchester Speedway, 34-degree banking, and here is a rising star, Kenny Irwin, the car owned by his dad, Kenny Sr., and he will be a factor throughout this coming season.
As you see, Mel Kenyon right here in that black car on the inside, runs in, gets a little sideways, and drills it straight into the fence. Real hard, head on. Doesn't look too good right there, Gary, but he walked away from that car, and the car held up real well.
Cliff Jacobs' built car held up very well as we start the feature. And one of the potent cars is that V6, that Potter car, that blue number 6. That is Tony Elliott.
Right on the outside in that black number 7 car is young Kenny Irwin, right into second place right away.
And Dan Dryden drops to third in the white 33. So, as we see early on in the season, the guys to beat are the ones running up in front right now.
And here we see Kenny Irwin driving around Tony Elliott going into turn 3, and look at that lap car. He almost got him. Elliott tries to get back under him, but can't make it stick.
The chassis has to be working right at Winchester, and here's a case Stevie Reeves burned off the right front tire. This is going to be a pass for second position. It won't work as Keeker looks to the inside. Elliott hangs on for second, but the victor is Kenny Irwin, the opener at Winchester, and the youngster wins on the high banks. And now we move on to Indianapolis Raceway Park in May as we take a ride in the first corner, and there is the award-winning Tread Cam. Racing now down the backstretch, Dan Dryden, the car that he designed and built, out in front, but right behind. We saw him earlier in the program. There is Kenny Nichols in that AL81 car.
And a hard-charging Kenneth Nichols tries to get around Danny Dryden, but our leader won't let him get around. Kenny Irwin and Mel Kenyon follow right behind as Danny Dryden takes his first victory.
Wins on national television at Indianapolis Raceway Park. The spoils of victory for Dan Dryden. Once again now, the night before the 500, a most prestigious race, and right there in the white 33 is Dryden. Right behind the white 11 is Paige Jones from California. As they parade off the second corner and head down the backstretch, Jones looks to the inside.
Jones pulls off the classic little slide job, moves right up in front of Danny Dryden and takes the lead.
But on this night, the guy to watch, that maroon 22 out of Michigan, Doug Coletta, started deep in the pack, but he's passing guys 2 at a time. And there is a move to the inside. Robbie Stanley, hang on, Robbie. That's the white chassis with the Vogler engine. He also collects Chuck Gurney and Andy Michner. Gurney on the right side, and at the top of the screen is Andy Michner. All the drivers are okay with a lot of damage to the race cars.
Yeah, a lot of damage to the race cars. He just couldn't control that race car once it got sideways. But look at Coletta.
Coletta once again has made his way to the front of the pack to challenge first for second spot on the inside of Paige Jones. He stays down low and takes the victory, the prestigious night before the 500. Doug Coletta. And once again now, in hot laps at Salem, something breaks in the car, a long slide down the backstretch. Well, the damage was minor, but now there's Don Schilling. He says, hey, put it on the trailer and take it back to Michigan.
Tice Carlson leads the pack into turn 1 on a restart. And look at this pack of cars coming around, and everything gets a little bunched up as Tice slows down coming off the corner.
Trouble right there. Rick Howerton first hit by Greg Vernetti, then Rich DeLordo, and 3 cars involved on the backstretch. Now watch this pass for the lead. That's the AL81 car. Once again, Ken Nichols. And look at the parade go by Tice Carlson. Reeves second. There's Irwin in third. But the victory goes to Kenneth Nichols, the first time he's won on the high banks. That's the Mike Nowicki midget.
It's Kenny Irwin at Winchester leading the pack into turn 1 with Danny Dryden right behind him. But watch Doug Coletta on the inside. As he goes into turn 1, he moves up and puts Kenyon right up next to the fence.
So Kenyon on the high side, Coletta down the middle, but the very next lap, something breaks on Kenyon's car, and again, he is into the wall. Second time this season that Kenyon has smacked the wall at Winchester.
Lucky he wasn't out of the ballpark. He hit that thing a ton, Gary.
Back at the front of the pack, watch this slide job that Coletta puts on Dryden as he takes the lead. Irwin now being challenged for third position. Irwin the black 7, the white 9 is Stevie Reeves. So the point championship already starting to develop early in the season, and we're on the high banks at Winchester.
All 4 of these guys up front, Gary, running very, very tough, trying to get points as well as a victory.
Well, here is a pass for position. No, not quite. As Stevie Reeves looks to the inside, the sparks flying off the rear of the Steve Lewis Performance Racing car. That is the battle for second. With a comfortable lead right now, that is Doug Coletta out in front as they work off the banks and down the backstretch. Now we take a look at Reeves, Irwin, and Andy Michener as they battle for position going into the third turn. Look at that, almost three abreast. Michener gets caught way down low, and here comes Tice Carlson. Final two turns. Last shot as Dryden takes a look to the inside, can't make it stick, and Doug Coletta comes home the victor by about a car length.
We move to Bloomington, Indiana, as Aaron Mosley catches a rut and barrel rolls over and out of the ballpark.
Not exactly the way you drive to the pit area in Bloomington, Indiana.
But going through turn one, Doug Coletta catches a wheel into Danny Dryden, and really Dryden kept him from getting upside down right there.
Now coming up, a clean turnaround. Now watch this move as Stevie Reeves, get out of my way, Dryden. Wow, call that a turnaround.
You call that a turnaround.
Star of the feature, Coletta was saved earlier from getting upside down, but nobody saves him this time as the pavement specialist finding it hard going on dirt here in Bloomington, Indiana.
That was a pretty hard flip. There was no Tommy tip over, that's for sure.
But he climbs out. Doug Coletta is okay. And once again, we take a look at a battle between Dan Dryden and Tony Elliott. Elliott in that powerful V6 Chevrolet. But once again, there's Russ Gamester. Last time we saw Russ, he was on fire in the infield. But tonight, he finds victory lane, his 11th USAC career victory. As we take a look at the points after Bloomington, Irwin leads Stryker, Reeves, Dryden, and Nichols. Back at Raceway Park, look at that. The honorary starter, Jeff Gordon, waves the green flag for the USAC Midgets.
And look at Doug Coletta. He's the man to beat at this point in the season, and he's on the inside trying to move to the front real quick.
But the white car on the inside of Doug, right there, Dan Dryden bumps Coletta, causing a multi-car crash on the backstretch. Not a lot of damage, no injuries, but a number of cars were out of competition, including young Tony Stewart in the Wilkie car. There is Stevie Reeves in the Calderwood car. Just got a shot of Greg Vernetti as we take a look again just after contact is made, and of course very tightly bunched at the start of the race, and this is going to happen.
Dryden makes it through. Look at that big splash as the oil tank gets crashed into by somebody in there. Really did a lot of damage, but nobody got hurt.
Riding now with young Tony Stewart, who is subbing for Paige Jones, who normally drives this car.
But as we see here, the throttle sticks on Bob Sacconi's car hard into the fence, up on top of the wall, and into the catch fence. That catch fence saved him from going way out of the ballpark.
Well, not to mention the Reader chassis that really held up so well, and he wanted to do an interview on live television. He was not injured.
Here we see the A81 car with Kenneth Nichols leading Mike Bliss. Look at that shot from the tail.
Mike Bliss in that now famous Potter V6, which may well be the midget engine of the future, as they dice down the backstretch and head into the third turn. Now there's Dryden back there in fourth position.
Wow.
And he really puts the squeeze three abreast. On the high side was Kenny Irwin, the black number 7. Irwin moves to second position.
Irwin is on the move. He's inside the L81 car. Ooh, that is close racing.
But Kenny is about to win his first race on national television. There's the checker flag. There's Senior. There's Kenny Irwin Sr. in the red breeches jumping up and down.
Pretty excited group right there, and I don't blame them a bit. It's a big deal to win on national television.
More midget racing now on August 15th at Raceway Park. I love this shot coming up from the tread cam.
The tread cam makes everybody duck. Look at that. The L81 car with Kenneth Nichols inside, 3 abreast going into turn 3.
Now, he had some trouble hanging on there as they go into the third corner, beginning to string out just a bit. Andy Michener, the youngster from Michigan, now out in front.
But Danny Dryden in that white 33 car, one of the points leaders, wants to move to the front real bad as he moves to the inside. But going down the backstretch, a puff of white smoke tells the tale for him as he moves to the inside.
What a driving job, though, by Steve Reeves to get by him as we take a look at Doug Coletta, who is coasting to the infield.
But here we see Kenneth Nichols on his way to victory. That's Stevie Reeves right behind him, chasing him hard, but he just couldn't catch him.
Important, though, for Reeves that he got the second place points because that would help in his chase for the points championship. There's the Nowicki crew as the jubilation continues in victory lane. Ken Nichols wins the Midget Nationals. And remember, Dan Dryden blew his engine in the Midget Nationals. Well, he takes over the Gene Crucian Midget at Kokomo. He's chasing the points, but here's the invader from the West Coast, Paige Jones. good competition on the quarter-mile dirt track about an hour north of Indianapolis.
Keith and Rusty Kuhn's car, that red #1 car that Paige Jones in, is a new car for him to drive. But that's Donnie Lehman in that 31 car right up front and did a great job.
Stevie Reeves works the high side in the white #9. That's the battle at the front of the pack. But here comes Paige Jones.
Paige is definitely on the move, but watch that white car of Mike Stryker's on the inside as he comes off of turn 2. Contact with Danny Drynan. Stryker gets sideways, and boy, everybody misses him. Nope, not quite. Couple of guys. Hampton hits him. Arnold hits him. Not a good night for those guys.
Battle at the front of the pack. Now this is again for the lead. And there is Paige Jones on the inside of Stevie Reeves. Takes it to the middle of the track. It's slick right there, and look out. Paige brings it on around. Dryning goes on by. Misses him. Paige says, hey, guys, stopped out here in the middle. All right, Tony Elliott now for the lead in the Potter V6. But look at Paige Jones in the back of the pack. He's back up to 5th. Now he's challenging for the lead. Oh, he hit a tire for the second time. He spins out and goes to the back of the pack. But last lap, he's in 2nd. Challenging for the lead. Oh, Elliott is over the cushion. And watch this slide job. Ooh, little bump. And guess what? Paige Jones wins twice in the back of the pack.
We move on to Macon, Illinois, a fast little quarter-mile racetrack as Stevie Reeves takes the early lead, but Donnie Lehman moves on the inside and right away takes out front.
Paige Jones running in 3rd position. Tony Elliott is up to 4th riding the high side, but watch this yellow number 55. That is Steve Knepper right tucked in behind Elliott as trouble develops in turn 2.
4 or 5 cars all developed into that crash. Nobody could get out.
But here's the guy you got to chase down at Macon. That is Tony Elliott. In 2nd position, Steve Knepper. Both drivers using the high groove, the cushion of this small bank bull rig.
High groove was the fast place and the only place to be on this night.
V6 power powers Tony Elliott to victory lane.
We move on to the 1-mile oval at Springfield, Illinois, and that's Johnny Parsons in that red car leading the pack into turn number 1.
That's the white chassis with the Vogler power plant. Stan Fox rides 2nd in the Beast chassis with the Gertie power plant.
And that's Paige Jones in that white car trying to get inside of Stan Fox, but he couldn't quite make it stick. This is a fast racetrack for a move like that.
Well, they also still race very close together despite the size of the track. And watch the contact right here. Dan Drynan. Oh, a vicious series of barrel rolls and flips. The red car is Mark Gerke. Gerke was treated and released, but Drynan was critically injured. But thankfully, he has returned to competition.
The race itself was won by Stan Fox as he moved around Johnny Parsons right near the end for a great victory for him.
Hey, here's a race that you won, the prestigious HUD 100 in Terre Haute, Indiana at the action track. They start 33 cars, 3 abreast.
It's very exciting to run and to watch, especially at Terre Haute.
Well, there is Steve Knepper out in front in that yellow 55. Stan Fox, the white number 9, and Kevin Doty runs in 3rd position, but the victory goes to Steve Knepper. He wins the HUD 100.
We move on to the prestigious 4 Crown Nationals, the midget portion at least, at Eldora Speedway. And look at the midgets run into turn 1, 4 abreast.
$10,000 to win. Here is a pass for 2nd place, Johnny Parsons. Going around, Mike Stryker. Stryker drops to 3rd. Jimmy Sills runs in 4th. Here is your leader, Kevin Doty. Good race driver, but we haven't seen a whole lot of him on Saturday Night Thunder.
Well, that's because he doesn't run the pavement, but he's a dirt specialist and very good at it. Watch this pass by Johnny Parsons. Right behind him in traffic, 4 cars all in one corner and into the lead.
Yeah, the wily veteran Parsons used the traffic to his advantage to take the lead, and Doty simply could not make up the ground, and Parsons takes a $10,000 victory at Eldora. But here was the car that won the car owner's title. Ralph Potter in his V6 Chevrolet takes the car owner's title, but the driver's championship goes to Stevie Reeves with Tony Elliott 2nd, then Kenny Irwin, Dan Drynan, and Mike Stryker.